morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is J.R. Moore coming to you live from deep in the mountains of the Missouri Ozarks. On Thursday, the 5th day of September, year of our Lord 2019, and welcome to the John Moore Show. We begin our shows with something that would probably be banned in San Francisco, the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Prepper tip of the day, I don't believe I've done this ever, but if I have, it's been a long time. Make sure every member of your team has a 1,000-foot spool of parachute cord, also called 750 cord because it's rated at 750 pounds strength. In the days before cable ties, in the days before Velcro, this is what we used, was parachute cord for repairing and replacing. And personally, they make great boot laces for my boots. And so that's your prepper tip of the day. We're going to have open lines this first half hour. The second half hour, we'll have Tom Berryhill with us. Top of the second hour, we'll have the John Moore Radio Show economic advisor, Mr. Steve Hunt, with us. And then we'll have open lines again in the last half hour. I'm going to start out by giving a summary. Well, it's on my website to encourage people who haven't been there in a while to be there. Just earlier this week, we got something brand new, a listen live section right there near the top of my homepage to click on there and listen live. And my website is laid out in blocks of 3. Tim Spencer did this work. It's a beautiful job he's done. It's all smartphone compatible. So we'll start at the top block of 3, going from left to right. First, we have the notice for the Caribbean cruise that I'm going on. And I'm asking you folks to come with me. If you want to come with me, it'll be a great cruise. All the hurricane damage will be repaired by then. We'll be on the Royal Caribbean Harmony of the Seas, the largest cruise ship that they make, by the way. All the details are right there. Going to the right, we have a little memorandum I wrote about a possible coming Second American Civil War. I watched Whoopi Goldberg go into a complete meltdown when Judge Jeanine Pirro was on the TV show that Whoopi's on every day. Complete meltdown. I think that's representative of what we're looking at here in terms of opposition. And I certainly hope and pray there'll be no Second American Civil War, but that's a memorandum, and I got some references there to give you some citations with. Next to that, a listing of 21.5 acres down near Sargent, Missouri, Texas County, 2 counties away from me. You might want to check that out if you're interested in Ozark real estate. Next section down, there was a photograph of myself receiving the Prague Peace Prize from Alexandra Born in Prague, Czech Republic, 2 years ago, July 2017. Next to that, another Ozark property for sale. This one has a massive cave with 40 acres. The cave's been gone back at least more than a mile. It's been investigated. To the right of that is the DVD from the conference I attended in in Cincinnati, Ohio, in May, featuring myself, Clyde Lewis, Pastor Paul Begley, and my friend Steve Ben-Noon. It's a great DVD. It's a great bargain, by the way. A lot of information there for a DVD set. Next line down, we have a translation of a speech. It was not meant for Americans or Westerners to even know the speech even took place. The top general of the People's Liberation Army, the Chinese Army, the Communist Army, a speech to his own top people. It tells what they want to do. It gives their plan. The plan is to invade and take over the United States of America for their own purposes. Very serious stuff. Next to that, my friend, a former counterintelligence agent, he puts this together every day. It's a lot of work. It says in bright red letters, open source intelligence. If you want to know what's going on the planet, this is where you want to go. It's there fresh every day for you to check out and read and become aware of. To the right of that is the Navy map. This is the representation of the map that's been shown in classified briefings to U.S. Navy personnel beginning in 1979. I worked with 3 different veterans to recreate this map. Tim Spencer has verified that this is the map that he saw. And, there it is. There it is, the Navy map. Next line down, we've got a photograph of a Triumph TR3, which may become a project of mine. We'll see. It was my first car I ever owned, and it would be fun to own another one. Next to that, we've got a speech given by a Muslim woman talking about the Muslim plan to conquer the United States. This goes back 30 years ago to 1989, and so that's important. You should be aware of it. To the right of that, we've got an archive of 2 radio shows, and bright red letters says Red Dawn, Learning the True Nature of a Russian Invasion. We have interviews with my friend Jeff Nyquist and my friend Command Sergeant Major Dan Page that took place 22nd and 23rd of May this year. Between those 2 interviews, you'll get quite an education. Next row down, we've got something that will help everybody. I would say maybe 1 person out of 100 in this country, and that may be optimistic, has ever heard of the ultraviolet index. I doubt that 1% of the adults in this country have a clue what the ultraviolet index is. Right there, there's a link to the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency. You put in any zip code you want, and it will give you the ultraviolet index for that day in that zip code. You need to know this. It's very important. It's a matter of health. It's a matter of avoiding skin cancer. Next to that, we've got the U.S. Pentagon closures and bases threatened by rising ocean levels. Important article. And right to the right of that, we've got a handsome young man with a mustache, Dr. Hardy Limebeck. Dr. Limebeck is a dentist up in Canada. He is the former president of the Canadian Dental Research Association. In his letter, he's basically apologizing to his entire country for previously advocating the addition of sodium fluoride to drinking water. Very important thing. Next line down, we've got a book. It's a free download, 918 pages. Personally, I don't think it's good or healthy to read that much on a glowing screen, backlit screen, which is what computers are, and the Kindle Fire. I don't recommend the Kindle Fire, by the way. You want the Kindle Paperwhite. Regardless, the title of the book is Matrix 3, Volume 1. It should be Volume 2, I believe. The Psychosocial, Chemical, Biological, and Electromagnetic Manipulation of Human Consciousness. You can probably forward this to your local office supply store, Office Depot, Office Max, Staples, UPS store. Have it printed out on 3-hole punch paper. Make sure that it's formatted so that the holes don't punch through the text. Get a really big 3-ring binder. You're looking at a nice sized stack of paper there. This is a reference book. I keep mine handy, even though it was published 25 years ago. The information in there is just as valid and just as valuable as it was the day it was printed. Very valuable book. Article I wrote right next to it, titled No Need for Panic. It's only about 19 or 20 pages. It stood the test of time. It has to do with violent climate change and what's coming at us. Then we've got a little audio from National Geographic about the importance of sleep. It has to do with the energy cleaner. Sleep is not optional. Good quality sleep every night is not optional. If you want to have optimal health, you have to have good sleep every night. Next row down, we've got an article that I wrote about the Gulf Stream having stopped, which it did. It still goes up the East Coast, by the way, but it no longer goes across the Atlantic Ocean to the British Isles. The Gulf Stream stopped June 12, 2010. Article next to that is actually, there's a letter I wrote to a British female entomologist. In her response, there has been a dramatic decrease in flying insects in the entire northern hemisphere. In case you don't know that, I'm here to tell you a dramatic decrease. I was just to Washington, D.C. 3 weeks ago, driving the interstate highway, daytime and nighttime. We had very, very few insects splattered on the windshield. Very few. Then we have my links page. Valuable links that I think you'll find interesting. My friend Professor McCanny, my friend Jeff Nyquist, and so forth. Then we got a link to my radio show below that. We've got weather forecast link. We got information about the energy cleaner. Public appearance schedule, nothing there at the moment. New coastlines in the media. This is our project. Our project. I'm going to click on that one. I haven't clicked on any of this. And I'm just going to go through some of these movies and TV shows. These are movies and TV shows that have images of continents with different coastlines, new coastlines. We'll just go through these. We've got The Godfather. We've got the TV show Highway Patrol of 1959. We've got Superman. We've got The Hunger Games. How many tens of millions of people have watched The Hunger Games, and how about A Beautiful Mind? Then we have Superman Returns. Next, lower down, we've got NCIS. How many tens of millions of people watch that every week? A TV show from 1955, Kept at Midnight. Another movie, Elysium. Then we have Dancing with the Stars. Next, we have a poster in a restaurant in Austin, Texas. Next movie is Tyler Perry's A Medea Christmas. Then we got a really old movie. This may be the oldest movie we've got, the Miami Story, 1954. An article from Look Magazine, 1952. TV show from the Discovery Channel, 2017. Another TV show going down the list here, Louisiana Flip and Move, 2017. Then we've got a Smithsonian Channel image. And then we've got a movie next to that titled Contact. Next line down, another movie, The Night the Earth Exploded, 1957. Another 1957 movie, The 27th Day. Then we got an image from Scientology, Going Clear. A TV show titled Highway Through Hell. Was first broadcast 2013. Wildly popular TV show from 1959, Sea Hunt. Then we've got I think this is a movie, Magma, Volcanic Disaster. Another TV show, The Northlander. We got an image from Noah's Ark display in Kentucky, courtesy of my friend Dan Sutterfield. Then a TV show series titled The Last Ship. 1986 movie, Top Gun. How many tens of million people have watched that movie? This is ironic here. I'm going to talk about this a little bit. Rick Wiles has done some excellent work over the years. His YouTube channel for True News, TRU, True News, has an introduction. And on the introduction, there's a spinning globe. It's a very stylized, artsy spinning globe that you can see through it. And if you watch it carefully and stop it, you can see that most of Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, and Texas are gone. There is no Florida, and Cuba is split in half. How about that? 1981 movie titled Ghost Story. Then we've got a TV ad, This is, I think, the only TV ad we've got from Pan Am, an airline company that no longer exists, 1958. History Channel, Ancient Alien series, and then a TV series on Netflix titled Another Life. That's a lot. And if you find another image yourself, just get that screen capture to me. You get your choice of any of my 6 DVDs as a thank you. It's a fun project. It really is a fun project. And then we've got, let's see, moving along here. Latest headlines from Associated Press. Click on there, get straight to Associated Press. And then next below way down, we've got free downloads. These are DVDs, these are not DVDs. These are videos and articles that I think people would find interesting. And next to that, more videos that are informative and entertaining. That's my website. There's a lot there. You can spend a lot of time there. I hope you do, because you'll get quite an education that is backed up by real evidence. You may, if you haven't yet, you may want to start out by reading my bio. At the top of my website, it says John's Bio. I started out my adult life in the U.S. Army, going to U.S. Military Intelligence School, where I became an intelligence analyst. Shortly after that, I found myself in Vietnam, working in the intelligence section of psychological operations down in the Mekong Delta. Left Vietnam, was in Special Forces the last year of my career in the Army, once again in military intelligence, part of the intelligence section of Special Forces. We specialized in studying the Middle East. We didn't have computers, but we had lots of file cabinets. There's a break. To call numbers 800-313-9443.
Tired of being lied to by mass media? It's growing more and more apparent today that news is received less and less through standard media outlets. Even with a growing audience every day, RBN is beginning to direct more efforts into social media. Social media and the use of the internet is fast becoming the primary source of people for news, regardless of demographic. RBN has set out to provide some of the best news on the internet through republicbroadcasting.org, and also has begun to use the tools to our advantage by way of social media. Republic Broadcasting is now operating a Facebook page to function as yet another avenue to have our collective voice reach new audiences across not only America, but across the globe as well. The Facebook page features not only news, but also an RBN player to listen to our broadcast. Get involved by visiting facebook.com/Republic Broadcasting and liking our page and share it with your friends and family, because you can handle the truth.
As a listener of RBN, you're surely concerned about being informed and being ready for whatever may come. Please consider the following questionnaire as a soul-jarring wake-up call. If you answer no to more than 2 of these following questions, you probably aren't going to make it through any major disruption in our country. The questions were compiled by people that have been there. Are you really ready? Do you own your own firearm for the primary defense and protection of you and your loved ones? Have you ever been professionally trained to stand against life-threatening behavior? Have you ever practiced enough to fire 500 rounds during a 2 to 4 day time frame, day and night? Can you load, unload, fire, and clear a jam in total darkness? Have all the adults in your household been professionally trained? Are you, life and death, comfortable with your abilities with pistol, revolver, shotgun, and rifle? Are you aware that everything that you do to prepare for an emergency is a waste of time, money, and energy? If you haven't honed your abilities to their highest level to protect and keep what you have, do you have the repair parts that will most likely be needed for each of your firearm, and do you have the ability to install those parts? Could you completely clean every firearm you own? Are you aware that your body won't go where your mind hasn't been? In other words, without proper training, followed by regular practice, you probably will not win a gunfight. Well, how did you measure up? Take the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to start correcting your deficiencies by receiving your Commander Lifetime Membership with Front Sight Firearms Training Facility. A one-time donation to RBN for $500 will give you a Commander Lifetime Membership at Front Sight as a tremendously huge thank you bonus. See details on RBN's webpage to make it happen. The clock is ticking. You had better be ready before it happens.
All right, we're back, ladies and gentlemen. J.R. Moore here on Thursday, the 5th day of September. I almost said August, didn't I? 5th day of September. We're going on a cruise. It's going to be fun. I've never been on a Caribbean cruise. I've never been on any kind of cruise. Many of you have. It's never been a particular goal of mine, but it's become a goal. It's all set up. This one is going to happen. The first time we attempted this, we really didn't know what we were doing, but we got it squared away now, so we know exactly what we're doing. We're leaving Florida on Saturday, the 9th day of February, returning a week later on the 16th. My friend Leon Green will be with us. It's possible Sam Andrews will be with us. We don't know yet for sure. His wife can't get her holiday schedule squared away for another few weeks, but we'll get confirmation of that. Valentine's Day will be right in the middle of the cruise, so this can be as romantic as you like it to be. And we're going to get together every day and talk about issues, discuss things, have some educational things going on there, ports of call, great food, great time. So check it out. If you don't have internet access and you would like our cruise director, Betsy Murphy, to mail you a very nice full-color brochure, give Betsy a call at 636-530-9502. A caller and holder, we got John in Tennessee. Good morning, John.
Good morning, John. I don't say thank you often enough, but I want to thank you for the part you played in my awakening about 14, 15 years ago, recommending Ralph's book. I appreciate that. This morning when you were talking...
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about Ralph's book so other people can join your waking up. And the title of the book is The Unseen Hand by A. Ralph Epperson. And John, you're a bright guy, and you probably appreciate what I appreciate about the book is all the extensive footnotes going to original source material to back up what the man says. What do you think about that?
Well, it's not theory. There's probably 60 pages of endnotes that are small print. They're not double-spaced. He documents everything. There's no question, John, that everything in that book he has documented.
That's right.
The subtitle of the book is an introduction to the conspiratorial view of history. That's just right. The introduction. And you realize, at least I did after I read the book and did my own research, that it really is just it's peeling one layer off the onion. This is big.
It is. It's
anyway,
massive.
Go ahead. It is massive, and it's been going on for thousands of years. That's why it's just the first layer of the onion. Now, when you mentioned your military experience, I hate to say a flashback, but I went back to 1975 when I entered the Air Force, and I got off the bus at Lackland and felt like I had arrived at the gates of hell, which Air Force is probably nothing compared to the Army, but this 17-year-old kid, I was 5 days, 18 years old. I enlisted, I was 17, and I felt like I had gone into the twilight zone. One of the things that stuck with me my whole life, and when I was 42, finally made sense, and that was my drill instructor, my TI in the Air Force, saying, "Airman, if you'll believe none of what you hear and half of what you'll see, you'll be okay." And I had no clue what it meant from the age of 18 until 42. And when I woke up at age 42, I was like, oh, he was giving me truth. Because he knew that eventually I'd wake up. I really believe that, John. So, long way to say this. If we know now that we have been lied to our entire life, how do we know that anything that we're being told, there is any truth in it, except what we experience? And even then, you can only believe half of what you see. There's an old saying, can't believe your lying eyes. Well, old adages are teaching if we will listen. So I said that to say this. In 2012, with the National Defense Authorization Act, that was a result supposedly of terrorism, legalized the United States propagandizing their own American people by repealing the Smith Modernization Act that was enacted in 1948, and it's legal for them to lie to us again, to manipulate us. So when you turn the news on, folks, don't believe it. Take it with a grain of salt. Investigate it to the point where, I hate to say it, John, I know there's a storm that they're calling a hurricane. I know it's a hurricane. But when we are watching the satellite image and they're showing it engulfing the whole eastern seaboard, realize, everyone, it's nothing more than a computer-generated cartoon. And
John,
I've got more to say if you'll allow me.
Well, we go to the energy cleaner after this. If you want to come back in an hour,
okay,
we'll still be here. To Bob and the Hour break, we'll be back to Tom Burton.
You are tuned in to the Republic Broadcasting Network. Visit our website by going to republicbroadcasting.org.
Ladies and gentlemen, J.R. Moore here. We have a special promotion going on at Republic Broadcasting. This is a fundraiser for Republic Broadcasting involving the energy cleaner. Mail me a postcard. My address is at my website at thelibertyman.com. We pick a postcard every other Thursday. When your postcard is drawn out, you get to buy an energy cleaner for $215 instead of $285, $70 discount. $200 goes to Republic Broadcasting. You also get a 10% discount on my mattress pads. So get those postcards in, put your name, your telephone number, your email address on there, and when your postcard is drawn, you get to get an energy cleaner for $215 instead of $285. Mattress pads, 10% off. Help us out at Republic Broadcasting and help yourself to get an energy cleaner at a deep discount. It's a win-win situation for everybody. We hope you can get these postcards in soon. Thank you very much.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Talk Right, the conservative app offered by TalkStream Live that caters exclusively to the conservative talk radio community. Here you'll see only talk shows and podcasts from the conservative right. All the big broadcast names and online digital shows in one place. Talk Right makes it easy to find all your favorite conservative talkers with all the upscale features you come to expect from TalkStream Live. Keep up with the fast-paced political world. Download Talk Right today from Google Play or the App Store.
Thursday, the 5th day of September. Well, there's 24 minutes I look forward to every week. 24 minutes, that's all it is. And that's the 24 minutes that we talk about a very special product, a product that's helped literally thousands of men and women, boys and girls, get their life back. It's called the Energy Cleaner. We begin these conversations with my friend Tom Berryhill, the manufacturer of the Energy Cleaner, giving us our disclaimer. Good morning, Tom.
Morning, John. We are not doctors or medical professionals. We don't diagnose, treat, or cure any illness or disease. The information discussed today is for your education and entertainment only. If you have a medical condition requiring treatment, you should utilize the services of a medical doctor, chiropractor, or other competent practitioner.
All right. Well, Tom, I've got some orders pending here for energy cleaners, waiting patiently for them to be delivered, including one going to Canada. I ship a lot of energy cleaners to Canada, quite a few to Australia, occasionally New Zealand. Then we have, after that would be England, Ireland, Scotland, occasionally Germany, a lot of listeners in Germany. One lady in Israel, she's a New York transplant living in Israel. And it's really very gratifying to help people all over the planet get their lives back, be able to do the things that they enjoy doing, waking up pain-free in the morning like I do every morning, after a great night's sleep, after I do every morning. And it's just very gratifying, isn't it, Tom?
It really is, John, and they're in use all over the world, these energy cleaner systems, even on 2 cruise ships that I'm aware of. And they're used in automobiles, cars, maybe even airplanes, who knows. Over-the-road truckers use them to get more relief in that long, treacherous day that they have to be on the road. That's tough on your back. And these guys and gals, they report back that it really leaves them refreshed through the whole day, John. So it's in use all over the place. And like you said, many thousands of units. There's about 23,000 of these things out there worldwide.
Well, it's a good start. We've got no charge customers, 23,000 out of 7 billion people. I don't think we're going to run out of customers anytime soon, are we?
No, not anytime soon. You don't have to look too far to find somebody with pain issues. Just go to any local store, John. You can see the people hobbling around. They're having trouble walking, standing up straight. It's just it's terrible. I used to approach some of these people. I don't do that too much anymore unless they bring up the topic. But because so many people say they have the best doctor and the best insurance, and they're going to go with that. It's hard to change their minds, but once they try it, there's no turning back.
That's right. That's right. That's exactly right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is radio. We got people who've been following me, and I know this because I've been in contact with them since I had my St. Louis show, beginning in 95, I think it was, 1995. And new listeners who've never heard John Moore before today, don't have a clue who Tom Berryhill is, and trying to figure out what this thing called the Energy Cleaner is. So, and everybody in between. So we repeat ourselves because that's the nature of what we do in radio. We have to repeat ourselves. We've got no choice. The Energy Cleaner is a electronic healing device. That's what I put on the paperwork for going through customs, to go to another country. Electronic healing device. About the size of a cigar box. Takes 9 D as in Delta, 9 D cell batteries. It is not a TENS unit. It is not a Rife frequency generator. It's entirely different technology. The Energy Cleaner puts out an electrostatic signal, just like a radio signal, except it's not a radio signal. It's an electrostatic signal. Goes to every cell in your body, flushing out toxins, bringing in fresh nutrition. That's how it works. And there's literally many billions, maybe trillions, I don't know, but many billions of cells in your body. Each one brings in fresh nutrition. Each one pumps out waste products. And if they start getting sluggish and start slowing down, that's when they need help. If there's a pain issue, maybe you got a paper cut on your index finger. That pain is transmitted to your brain. Pain medication acts as a blocking mechanism to block the signal getting to your brain. The energy cleaner works on pain by healing the source of the pain. That's how it works. Now, if you're just hearing about this, you may be thinking, "Oh, yeah, what's a homicide detective telling me about health? He's no doctor." And I don't claim to be a doctor. But I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, I'll do something your medical doctor is highly unlikely to do. I offer a 90-day money-back guarantee in what I'm offering for sale. Your doctor is offering you pharmaceutical products and no money-back guarantee. Maybe a surgery with no money-back guarantee or something else. But that's what I do, a 90-day money-back guarantee. Now, at my website, you can study up on the energy cleaner, read how the energy cleaner came into being with the patent application information, the marvelous testimonials from people we know like Steve Whitman, who's become a very accomplished author, writing a series of novels. And then make your choice. And Tom, what people do frequently is they read up on it, they understand the information, they agree with the information, and then they wait. They procrastinate, don't they, sir?
They really do, and sometimes for years. They're aware of this technology that could really help them, and they put it off for years. But once they finally try it out, John, there's no turning back. They know it helps, and they tell all their friends about it. Their friends ask, "How are you doing so well nowadays when you were using a walker before and you had trouble getting out of bed," and so on. But now you're out and around, and they show them the energy cleaner. So then we hear from those people, and they want one just like it for their own pain issues. There's so many other things that will help. And you mentioned the paper cut. Well, any type of wound will heal very quickly when using the energy cleaner signal on that area. It's amazing how fast it will heal. And, John, we've seen broken bones that were supposed to take 8 weeks to heal totally, and these people are walking, using their arm again, and sometimes a week, usually around 2 weeks. So it really speeds up the healing of any kind of a broken limb, broken bone, legs, arms, whatever. It will heal very quickly, and many times people will have a surgical incision made, and they'll put that energy cleaner pad right over that area, and that incision will heal up with absolutely no scarring. Doesn't happen every time, but we've had many, many hundreds of reports of this where the incisions healed with no scarring at all, to the total amazement of the doctor that does the follow-up care on them.
Well, they are amazed because it's so far outside what they consider normal, what they see every day in their practice. They don't know what to think of it, do they?
No, they don't. And I remember Steve Whitman giving testimony right here in your show, and he said that when he went back after his injuries for follow-up visit, that doctor called in everybody that was on duty, all staff that was on duty at that time to check him out, because the physician couldn't believe how fast he had healed, and the bruising. And that's the other thing, John. So much of the bruising was gone. And we hear about those issues all the time, where there was some major bruising, and that just cleared up and went away very quickly.
Well, this is good news, and I hope people are paying attention. It's funny how this works. People, they think about it, they ponder it, they get busy with something else, they come back to it later, and eventually they get it done, don't they?
They finally do, and we've held a sales price where it is right now. We've held it at that level for many, many, many years, and everything else seems to be going up, John, but we're doing our best to keep it at that sales price. So for really a very small investment, people can have quite a bit of pain relief and take care of a lot of other issues. Some health things we don't talk about because we don't really have the liberty to do so in this country. I think everybody will read between the lines and understand that when you have toxic conditions in your body, many diseases will come forth from that. If you can flush those toxins out, your body has a clean slate, so to speak, and it can repair itself. So that's what we do. We assist the body in going forth with that healing, and we do it all the time.
That's right. That's right. Well, this is your wake-up call, ladies and gentlemen. Between men and women in this country who have arthritis issues, men and women who have sleep issues, we're talking probably 75% of the population, aren't we, sir?
Oh, yeah, it's everywhere. I mean, just go to the nearest gas station, get some gas for your car, and watch the people barely able to walk. Go to any store and see people hobbling around. And, John, it amazes me that the people are younger and younger that are having these issues. I see people in their 40s, and they should be really getting around pretty good, and they're having these issues. It's just incredible what you see out there, and we can't help everybody. I wish we could, but we do our best.
Well, there's no. I mean, I'm not going to get orders from everybody in this country. I know that. I'll get orders from the ones who wake up and decide that they want to be healthy and have the energy that they want to do all the things that they love to do. It may be golfing or fishing or walking in the park or playing with grandchildren, softball, whatever it might be. People have activities that they want to participate in, and they either cut back or don't do them at all because of pain, don't they?
That's right, and we've just heard over the years from so many of these people that have called in and reported that they no longer have these pain issues, and they're out and around and doing just fine. And from that point forward, they're back to normal and living a pain-free life. And I'll tell you, John, there's nothing worse than chronic pain. It's just the people I talk to. It's just the stories they tell are almost breaks your heart to hear these stories.
Well, it's the pain takes over your life, is what happens.
That's exactly right.
The pain, not that you want it to, but the pain becomes the central focus of your life. And anything and everything you do that you plan to do is based on what issues pain is going to be involved with that particular activity. It's a very sad commentary, but that's what a lot of people end up with, don't they?
They really do. They really do. But it's just it's amazing how much younger the people are today. I guess it's the food and the diet. People are not very careful about what they eat, too much fast food and so on. And look what it does to you, John. But I see people in their 40s, early 40s, that are starting to have these issues. And we could help them, many of them, probably not all of them, but most of them, I think, would get some relief. It would just take the time to look into this technology.
Well, we're bringing people to the water here. I can't, and I don't want to make people drink, but I do want to make sure that they know that the drink is available, the drink being the Energy Cleaner. The Energy Cleaner is a marvelous healing device. It's for sale at my website at thelibertyman.com under products. You're going to need and want a mattress pad to go with it. I know people try to get by on the cheap and make their own with aluminum screen wire. That will work. It'll work for a while before it starts breaking apart and scratching in the middle of the night. But the way to get started really is to get yourself an Energy Cleaner, get a mattress pad to fit your bed. We have twin size, full, queen, king, California king. Everything's right there at my website for sale. And get started. Get started getting your life back. It only takes a matter of sometimes minutes or hours, rarely more than 3 days, to feel the relief, right, Tom?
That's really true. And we've done seminars where people had nearly total pain relief in less than an hour, around 30 to 40 minutes or so. They had relief from their pain, and of course, they purchased a unit, and these were not plants. These people were brought in by friends that heard there's going to be a seminar on the subject, and they wanted their friend to learn about this. So some very skeptical people showed up, and only to find out that it worked for them, and they were very pleased with that. So it's and of course, John, your money back guarantee is really a nice touch to the whole process, because if somebody purchases a unit, it doesn't work for them, and there is a very small percentage of people that will just not get relief. We don't know why. I wish we did know, but we don't at this time, and they can return it. But most people will start to see some changes within a day or two at the most, and we have had some that it took a couple of months. Depends on what you're trying to do, but many different health issues you're experiencing can certainly clear up in a month or two. And for some of the worst cases, that's what we've seen.
Well, everything you're saying is true. Everything that you're saying has been done and will be done again. All we can do is give these people the heads up. You've got your heads up. The patent application information, the testimonials are right there at my website. You can place your order at my website using PayPal, MasterCard, Visa. You can send me a check or money order. My address is there. You can call my toll-free hour line 24 hours a day. Here it is, 800-592-9543. I say again, 800-592-9543. When you place your order, you'll get a notice that it's not going through. That's because it's not going through the credit card. I have to take care of that and process it manually. My credit card processor was bought out about 15 months ago, and we still have unresolved issues. So it's just simply the way it is for right now. Get started. The time to do it is now. There's no sense in waiting, right, Tom?
That's right.
Here's a break. We'll be right back.
What's happening, ladies and gentlemen? We here at RBN are working with Front Sight Firearms Training Institute to bring our audience the best in combat, tactical, and defensive firearms training. Whether you're a private citizen who is new to firearms, or you have a concealed weapon permit and want a level of training that surpasses what you've received from your local gun range, Front Sight provides priceless education and skills taught by seasoned law enforcement, military, and private citizen instructors to levels that far exceed law enforcement and military standard. With nearly 1 million responsible citizens trained from every town, city, and state from across the United States, Front Sight has bolstered the Patriot movement to a whole new level. Contact Dan Sutterfield by phone at 573-762-2356 or 573-465-2356, or shoot him an email at domedan, DOMEDAN, at hotmail.com. This is a limited time opportunity. Don't miss it.
All right, we are back, gentlemen. J.R. Moore here on Thursday. It is Thursday, the 5th day of September. This year is flying by here, Tom, isn't it?
Well, it really is, John. It seems like one day just rolls into the next. And look how far along we are.
Regardless, as time is moving forward, your issues with arthritis, your issues with not sleeping, they're not going to fix themselves. That's unlikely. The pain medications you're taking, the sleep medication you're taking, you've probably done your homework, ladies and gentlemen. You know that these pharmaceutical products are hard on your kidneys, they're hard on your liver, they can be dangerous. And of course, there's expense involved. With the energy cleaner, you got the one-time expense. No monthly expense to fill up pharmaceutical bottles full of dangerous pharmaceutical products. Just the one-time expense for an energy cleaner, a mattress pad to go with it, and you're good to go for many years into the future, aren't you, Tom?
That's true, John. We have units that were made nearly 20 years ago, and they're still operating just fine. The only other expense will be an annual expense. We recommend that you change the batteries on an annual basis, mainly to prevent leakage. And this can happen in any type of electronic device. You don't want those batteries that leak. They can damage the equipment and render it inoperable. We can repair them. Any of the energy cleaners, all the way back to the first ones made, can be repaired. We have a flat rate service to do that. So, but it's wise to change those batteries on an annual basis. So there's your operating cost, about $1 a month, because it will cost you about $12 or so, somewhere around that price range to replace the batteries. And it's that simple. One wire plugs in, and that's all it takes to get the benefits of that healing signal.
That's it. It could not be simpler. And there's other benefits, of course. You can use them for agriculture to have your ornamental plants and your edibles, fruits and vegetables grow larger and more plentiful, can't you, Tom?
That's real. Yes, John, that's true, and it's very easy to do. A chicken wire grid suspended over the plant area where the plants are growing. Keep it as close to the plants as possible. The plastic electric fence posts work really good for this. You can connect the just tie off the chicken wire grid to that post, and you can raise and lower it as needed as the plants grow. You don't want the plants to get tangled up in that chicken wire. That creates a mess. You have to keep an eye on it because those plants will be growing very, very rapidly, and you'll have an incredible amount of produce that you'll be able to harvest because of the energy cleaner signal.
That's right. It's all a win-win situation. Go to our website at thelibertyman.com. Under products, just click on the energy cleaner, educate yourself, make your decision, and get on the road to getting your life back. Right, Tom?
That's right. It's that simple. And these units are ready to ship out at a moment's notice. We get them out to all over the country, all over the world, John, and these people get on with their lives after eliminating the pain.
That's what they do. That's what they do. Thank you, Tom. Have you on tomorrow morning. We'll talk about emergency communications.
Thanks, John.
We got a top of the hour break. We're back with the John Moore Radio Show Economic Advisor, Mr. Steve Hunt. Stay tuned. All right, we're back, ladies and gentlemen. J.R. Moore here on Thursday, the 5th day of September. The prepper's tip of the day is I want to encourage everybody to have for each team member on their preparedness team a 1,000-foot spool of parachute cord, also called 750 cord. It's extremely handy material, and I got my 1,000-foot spool, and I hope you should get yours too. We have patient way in the green room, the John Moore Radio Show Economic Advisor, Mr. Steve Hunt. We're going to talk about the American economy, the world economy, and how you can protect yourself. If you want more information, just go to my website at thelibertyman.com. You'll see what looks like a nice red Christmas gift up there, all wrapped up, a red box with a gold ribbon on it. Just click on that, and you'll be at Steve's landing page for Swiss America, where his telephone number is. And if you don't have internet access, I'll give you his telephone number right now. We can call Steve directly. That's 800-630-1491. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning.
Steve, we're hearing lots of stories and reading articles about tariffs and why tariffs are good, why tariffs are bad, and so forth involving China. So can you give us a Reader's Digest summary of what's going on with these tariffs involving China and us, sir?
Well, basically what's going on is there's been a deficit with what China has been doing for trade. They've been getting the benefit of trade for quite some time, meaning that, we're paying way more for their items than they are for ours. And Trump's been trying to get things on a level playing field. And because China disagrees with this and they keep trying to devalue their currency, so that way, no matter what we do, they can try and battle us on this. It's become a fight now. So Trump has put these tariffs on things so that there's a tax, basically, that must be paid if, you were to take anything from China. If you buy from China, you got to pay a higher rate if you're a U.S. consumer or a U.S. business. So that way you're swayed more to use U.S. goods than you are anything else. But, the sad thing about this is these stockbrokers and people that are telling you advice about the markets, that, they take a little bit of news, like late last night they said that the United States and China were going to start talking again in October after they just said that they were done for a while. And because they're going to talk in October, the stock market just went, up big. The futures are up huge this morning. It doesn't mean anything. And that's the problem is this fake news that comes out, and there's this optimism that just because they're going to talk. The last time they talked, China said that, we were an enemy. And Trump said that he was going to declare a national emergency against China because of this whole issue with the trade. And it's just, it's going to get worse. And unfortunately, people really have to pay attention and see that things are not going in the right direction. And it's my personal opinion, it's going to get worse before it gets better.
All right. Well, getting worse. What does that mean for Americans that are out there that are working day to day with their various careers, taking care of their family, looking forward to retirement at some point in the future? What does this mean for them, and what plans they need to be making in the meantime?
Well, you're going to start seeing the dollar going to start being more devalued. I mean, Trump even came out and said that, either we match China and start devaluing our currencies, or we continue to be the dummies that we have been for years. I mean, that's a direct quote from him. So, he knows that we need to do something to combat this. Otherwise we're losing a lot of money and goods. So, you're going to see values of things start going up in price because our dollar is being devalued. The market's going to get hammered because of this. Gold and silver is going to keep going up. I mean, you look at a few things that just come out. On the Wall Street Journal this morning at 5:30 a.m., there's an article on Wall Street Journal that says the Fed has lined up another quarter-point rate cut, and it might be as much as a half a point. You look at CNBC this morning, and there's an article on here from CNBC talking about Alan Greenspan. Just did an interview last night, and he says that it's only a matter of time before negative interest rates are in the United States. He thinks that, when he says a matter of time, he's not talking years. He's talking months. So there's so much negativity that's coming because of everything right now. You got to find a way to protect yourself. I mean, you can't be sitting there saying, "Oh, that sounds good. If I go to the bank and deposit $1,000 for my check, and I go to take it back out, that I'm going to get $900. That makes sense to me. That's silly. People don't realize if you have a business account, and I've been a part of this for a while. The big banks of the United States right now, if you go deposit cash and you have a business account, it's already negative interest rates. They charge you to deposit cash now. Yeah, they charge you quite a bit.
Negative interest rate means if I put money in the bank, I pay the bank to keep my money?
Of course. Instead of them paying you, now you're paying them.
That sounds pretty insane to me, because they take the money that I'm paying them to keep on my behalf, and they're loaning it out at a very substantial rate of interest, aren't they?
Of course. But what else are you going to do? I mean, you're not going to take your money and cash it and try and hold on to it, because they're going to devalue the currency. And if the currency devalues, now you're stuck with a piece of paper that's worth nothing.
So why am I hearing the theme song from The Godfather playing in the background when I hear this?
Yeah. Well, a lot of people are hearing that tune right now.
We're going to make you an offer you can't refuse. You're going to pay us to keep your money, and then we're going to take your money you're paying us to take care of and loan it out at 12 to 18% interest. Yeah. How do I get in that business, Steve?
Yeah, I want to get in that too. You let me know.
I'll put a sign up by the road here in Davisville. loan me your money and pay me to keep it, and I'll loan it back out so our other neighbors can buy bass boats and ATVs. That
there you go, John and Steve's Bank coming soon to a alley near you.
Yeah, well, these are certainly. Is there any? I know the negative interest rates have actually happened in Europe, haven't they?
Well, they've happened in a lot of places, and that's why I tell people, and if some of some of your listeners have even called me, and I've told them the same thing. If you're not sold on gold and silver, that's fine. Go buy some land, go buy a rare car, go buy some rare art. At this point, as many assets as you can get is the best thing you can do. You don't want to buy land with structures on it, because if the real estate market goes down, you're going to lose a lot of money as well. But you got to have assets. You cannot create more land. That's why I'm huge about land. I mean, I grew up on a farm in Nebraska, so I'm a big believer in land is a great thing to have, just because until they figure out a way to empty the water in the oceans, you're not going to have more land for sale. So it's gold is the biggest asset, I think, in my mind. Gold and silver and platinum. Then you look at land, and then you look at, if you're still not sold on those two items, rare cars and rare art.
Well, people need to know what they're doing in these areas of collectibles, automobiles, and art that you mentioned. Just like buying gold coins, they need to know what they're doing, because you can pay a lot for something that has an actual value tremendously less than what you think it does. Of course, I know more about automobiles than a lot of people. Owning a high-value automobile means keeping it in a climate-controlled environment. That means 50% humidity, doesn't get too hot, doesn't get too cold, with proper maintenance, which means putting it in storage properly or driving it on a regular basis. You have to do one or the other. And it's a volatile market. What's really valuable 1 year, 10 years later, may not have as much value. Art's the same way. You really know what you need to know what you're doing before you start buying expensive pieces of art. Don't you, Steve?
Well, yeah. I mean, and the only problem you run into with art is the liquidity factor. It's not very liquidable. You're not going to be able to say, today I want to sell this. It doesn't work that way. You got to take it probably to a couple of auctions until you find that right person that thinks of it the same as you do, and they value that. So, but still, it's I can't say to somebody don't do it because of that, because it's still an asset, and I want everybody to find a way to be comfortable and get as protected as possible. So, even if I'm not a big believer in rare art, it doesn't mean I wouldn't tell somebody else to do it.
Right. Typically, rare art is something for fairly wealthy people to get involved in. We're going to call her and hold here. We got Jerry in Texas. Good morning, Jerry.
Well, good morning, John. And I'm sorry I can't remember your name, but anyway, good morning. Couple things. Well, art, if you sell art, you're going to sell it for probably fiat dollars anyway, so cryptocurrency. So that diminishes your buying price there. But two things. I missed part of your last comments, but on we've got loan sharking going on right now with credit cards and the endless. If you're late, they charge you a penalty, and then they end up raising the interest rates. I got a deal the other day. I noticed that on a credit card that we use, we pay off every month. It's just convenient. If they can raise the rates as high as 23% or thereabouts, it don't take long for them to make some money off of it. It's legalized loan sharking is all I can say about that. The tariffs, what's going on about trying to bring back industry and manufacturing back to the United States. Even if, correct me if I'm wrong, but even if they said, I am no longer going to manufacture anything overseas. I'm going to do it here in the United States. How long is it going to take before they get the infrastructure up in order to manufacture that first item? That's the question I got. I mean, it's not an instant fix.
No, it's not an instant fix. I mean, but also you got to think in the fact that what you just said. If we need to create the facility here to do the same thing, now you just created more jobs in America, which is a good thing. So, while we're waiting for that to happen, it's going to take time to be able to buy the same products, but they're going to be made here in America, and it's going to create more jobs to be done here in America. And, I think, in my opinion, a lot of benefits come from this for us, and I like the idea of creating more jobs here than outsourcing, which is, one of the big things that Trump wanted to do to begin with, is he wanted to bring a lot of the business back to the United States instead of outsourcing. But we buy so many things, from them, and they buy so many things from us. Soybeans is getting hammered right now. I mean, I've got a couple of clients that are huge with soybean farms, and they're losing a lot of money because of this. And it's unfortunate, but it's unfortunate. There's going to be some casualties because of this.
That's something I puttered around with agriculture biggest part of my life, and the agricultural subsidies I struggle with. I've never taken any. Of course, I've had tax benefits, but on the local and state level, and on income tax. But agriculture is kind of at a category all by itself. But anyway, thanks for taking my call. I've got to get out here in the barn and make a bunch of noise. So,
okay.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, Jay. Appreciate the call. The call number is 800-313-9443. Well, Steve Hunt's the answer man. If you want to understand the true nature of how and why to invest in gold coins and silver coins, you need to talk to Steve Hunt. Steve, you've got some excellent, well-written publications that people can download and read on their computer, or you'll mail them to them, won't you, sir?
Absolutely, I will. But, one thing that I want to mention that he just noticed, he's talking about credit card debt and everything else. I mean, people don't seem to realize there was an article on Reuters a few weeks ago that said that U.S. consumer debt was at, I think it was like 13 or just under $14 trillion. I mean, you got to think about what the national debt is, what, consumer debt, these credit card debts are. I mean, the amount of debt that is just here in the United States alone is unfathomable. And you look at what's going on with trade war. The trade war isn't just everything that's going on in the economy. The amount of debt that is here in the United States alone, will never be paid off. And at some point, it's going to have to get wiped clean. I mean, the government's not going to find a way to pay back $25 trillion. It's just not. I mean, we've dug a hole to a point where we've diluted our dollar so much that now you can't find an insta-fix to make it better. You've got to reset things and redo it. I mean, there's just you can't say that we've devalued the dollar by this much money. I mean, you talk about what you and I have had this conversation. What you paid for gas back when you were in high school to what it is today, and we're going to say, oh, now we're going to reverse things and we're going to go backwards and we're going to make things better. Magically, it's not going to happen. And everybody needs to understand that this thing with China, this isn't everything that's going on. There's a whole lot more going on right now. I bet.
Well, this is another form of insurance, but most forms of insurance, your automobile insurance, homeowners insurance, life insurance, and so forth, health insurance, you end up with a stack of canceled checks. With this form of insurance, you end up with a very nice box full of beautiful gold coins, beautiful silver coins that will stand the test of time, as they have for 5,000 years. Part of your legacy to leave for your children and grandchildren, to be used for yourself if needed in the future. and so forth. Here's our break. We'll be right back.
Folks, we're living in a world the likes of which we've never perceived any clearer than we do now. The plan for global governance has been in the works for generations and would have likely been achieved by now but for the fact that the globalists left open their Achilles heel. With all their tools, Federal Reserve System, fiat currency, no child left behind, and then Common Core education introduced to our schools to dumb us down, vaccines, pharmaceuticals to lobotomize us, GMO foods, insertion of compromised or bought and paid for politicians, judges, mainstream media propaganda, all pieced together like a puzzle designed to ultimately bring the world under submission. But with all their strategy, they forgot one thing: knowledge. And knowledge is power. With knowledge, their bombardment is nullified. Folks, with that, as brilliant and knowledgeable as you've become, among the wisest audience of any radio audience in the world, and you are, I want you to take a moment to reflect and ask yourself, how much of that knowledge did I obtain from Republic Broadcasting Network? How high has my consciousness been raised since I've been a listener? How fast am I now able to discriminate truth from fake news by being a Republic Broadcasting listener? How clear am I now able to see the world since I've been listening to RBN? Ask yourselves those questions, folks. Then ask yourself, what is that knowledge worth to me? Like my morning coffee, how would I survive without it? A voice of truth in a sea of lies. Do we not all need to make sure it survives? Like public broadcasting, we are now finding we can only survive with listener support. Censorship, advertisers being attacked, truth itself being attacked. It's the only way through this. We at Republic Broadcasting humbly ask you to become a supporter. Look at your budget and make a determination of what Republic Broadcasting is worth to you and what you can afford on a monthly basis. Go to republicbroadcasting.org and pledge $20, $30, $40, $50, if possible, $100 a month or more if it's affordable. Click the donate button and become a regular monthly donor. Assure both us and yourself that Republic Broadcasting truth will continue to flow like that morning coffee. The network thanks you.
Republic Broadcasting Network depends on listener support of our advertisers and of our sponsors. We'd like to especially thank all of you who have taken advantage of our fundraiser with FrontSite Bonus. Those who are now FrontSite members, please train as soon as possible for your sake and for that of our nation. And please consider sharing your training and what you've learned when you arrive home. Republic Broadcasting Network has to stop promoting this fundraiser on air and on the website in just a few days. Dr. Ignatius Piazza, president of FrontSite, made a gracious exception to his no media rule for us at Republic Broadcasting Network. Thank you, Dr. Piazza. And once you've been to FrontSite, feel free to call your favorite host and share your experience on the air. We can continue this fundraiser without media help, but it'll be totally up to the listeners to spread the information. Please call Dan Sutterfield in Missouri at 573-465-2356, 573-465-2356. That's 573-465-2356.
All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. We're back. J.R. Moore here on Thursday. It is Thursday, the 5th of September. We're going on a cruise. It could be romantic if you choose it to be, because St. Valentine's Day would be right in the middle of it. A Caribbean cruise with Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines. It'll be a lot of fun. Details at my website at thelibertyman.com. Steve, we talk every week about these events, and I look at the historical perspective. There's no precedence for a country doing to themselves and their currency what we've done, having a good outcome. That precedence does not exist, does it, sir?
No, I mean, any country who's ever done this. I mean, we're repeating a lot of histories right now, and every one of them, their currencies have crashed. I mean, their dollars have gone into, trillions of dollars of look at the Zimbabwe dollars. I mean, you can buy, $10 trillion in Zimbabwe dollars for $5. There's so many countries that are like that. It's unfortunately we keep doing the same thing.
Devil's advocate here, but Steve, we're Americans. American women can be U.S. Marines. Americans can do anything they want that nobody else can do. So it's going to be okay, Steve.
You know, I will say this. We are a very optimistic country. We do look out for each other a lot here in America, but the one problem we have is our government is broke. And when, you let a government operate with a negative checkbook, and there's no penalty for it, where you and I and your neighbors and family can't do negative checking account and savings account without, collectors coming down, taking your house, taking your car, and you being out on the street. But our government can do it. There's a problem. And eventually they're going to get caught too, and you're starting to see that from Standard & Poor's talking about looking at the credit rating of the country. These other countries are having issues with it now too, and now we're affecting other countries' currencies. So, it's not anymore just about what, we think of our country and what we believe in. It's what these other countries also believe in as well.
It is, absolutely. And this is why people need to contact you at your landing page there. Just click on the red box with the gold ribbon on it, my website at thelibertyman.com. Steve will mail you copies of The Secret War on Cash and The War Against Economic Freedom. There's excellent articles there at the Swiss America website that you can read. If you do not have internet access, just give Steve a call at 800-630-1491. I say again, 800-630-1491. Time is of the essence. We've got 13 months before the 2020 elections in November, don't we, Steve?
Boy, is that going to be exciting.
Yeah. When the top candidate for the Democrats doesn't draw as many people as John Moore when he has an event. I've done a number of presentations, and I can get 60, 70 people to show up at any of them, and the vice president Biden got 30 people to show up for his. That's pretty pitiful. Yeah,
it is.
That's pretty pitiful. So it's going to be exciting in 13 months, but something that will make the exciting a bit more tolerable, and a bit get the pucker factor down just a few notches, is to have some beautiful gold coins, some beautiful silver coins safely in your possession, so that when this all goes south, you're covered, right, Steve?
Well, that's just it. Like I said, this is all insurance. That's all this is. This isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. This isn't, something that you're invested in because you want to make $1 million. This is just to protect what you have. This is protect the money you've made, protect what you have something you can use to barter with. It's just like ammunition and that kind of stuff. I mean, it's just, you just got to take care of yourself and your family. That's all.
And I get in these conversations a lot. We have a meetup, a J.R. Moore radio show meetup tonight, by the way, in Rolla, Missouri. And somebody might say, "Oh, John, my gold has gone up $100." And I said, "No, the value of your gold hasn't changed. What's changed is the value of the paper attempting to buy it. That's what's changed.
Yep.
The value of your gold has remained the same. And that's what you want, right, Steve?"
Well, that's just it. I mean, people got to realize, what you were getting paid. And I did this big research not too long ago, what people were making at a job at Wendy's in 2000 versus today. You look at where gold's at, and what you could buy for the dollars. I mean, you're just trying to find a way so that in 10 years from now that you can live the same life that you're living today. That's it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. These 1/10 ounce gold coins, now, are they issued by a government, or is this a private issue?
The 1/10 ounce gold coins?
Yes.
Those you can get those from the U.S. government. There's 1/10 ounce eagles. You can get 10 ounce maple leaves. But that's I would tell you to buy the 10 ounce silver coins over the gold.
Okay. Well, that's basically a silver dime is 1/10 of an ounce, isn't it?
Yeah, basically it's 90% silver. But if you get a 1/10 ounce silver round and it says 999 fine silver, anybody you go to in the world is going to be able to read the coin and see that it's a pure silver coin. Trying to convince a guy who's working at a gas station that a dime has, $2 worth of silver, good luck.
Agreed. Steve, thank you, sir. Have you back this week. Appreciate it.
All right.
We got bottom of the hour break. We'll be back with Open Minds.
You are tuned in to the Republic Broadcasting Network. Visit our website by going to republicbroadcasting.org.
Ladies and gentlemen, J.R. Moore here. We have a special promotion going on at Republic Broadcasting. This is a fundraiser for Republic Broadcasting involving the energy cleaner. Mail me a postcard. My address is at my website at thelibertyman.com. We pick a postcard every other Thursday. When your postcard is drawn out, you get to buy an energy cleaner for $215 instead of $285, $70 discount. $200 goes to Republic Broadcasting. You also get a 10% discount on my mattress pads. So get those postcards in, put your name, your telephone number, your email address on there, and when your postcard is drawn, you get to get an energy cleaner for $215 instead of $285. Mattress pads, 10% off. Help us out at Republic Broadcasting and help yourself to get an energy cleaner at a deep discount. It's a win-win situation for everybody. We hope you can get these postcards in soon. Thank you very much. All right, we are back. This is J.R. Moore here on Thursday. It is Thursday, the 5th day of September. 13 months. 13 months until the election. We talked about the energy cleaner for half an hour last hour. I don't want to spend a lot of time on it other than to remind you, if you're tired of being tired, if you're tired of the pain, get yourself an energy cleaner. Details at my website at thelibertyman.com. You need a safe haven. You really do. You need a safe haven. If you live in or near an urban, suburban area, and things go south, well, you're going to want to be out of there. It's not going to be safe. What is a safe haven? Let's talk about that. Now, for civil disorder and many other things, as long as you're 100 miles from a major metropolitan area and you've got a place where you got all the potable water you need, you can grow your own food, and you got neighbors, at least a good majority of them are independent people, you're probably going to be okay. When it comes to violent earth changes, there's other factors involved, and that's when the Arkansas, Missouri Ozarks stand head and shoulders above almost every other place. Now, I'll tell you what my idea is for a safe haven, because I'm concerned about all these matters, including violent climate change. That would be in the Arkansas, Missouri Ozarks. It doesn't have to be a massive property. 5 acres is more than enough, quite frankly. In my neighborhood, you can hardly find a place that has 5 acres. Most of them are considerably larger when a property comes up here for sale. Regardless, the Arkansas, Missouri Ozarks was designated by the United States Navy as a safe haven for their people. I was on a nationwide speaking tour. I was on a couple of them, actually, sponsored by the Prophecy Club out of Topeka, Kansas, Pastor Stan Johnson. And the one speaking tour had to do with violent climate change. So I'm in Detroit. It's a hotel meeting room, standing room only. It must have been, 200 or 300 people in there. And 3-hour presentation, 2 15-minute breaks. One of the breaks, a gentleman walked up, introduced himself. He says, "John, I'm in the insurance industry. My friends, my co-workers, we've wondered for years, why in the world are there so many retired Navy people in the zip codes of the Arkansas, Missouri Ozarks?" He said, "Now we know. Now we know." The Navy designated the Arkansas, Missouri Ozarks as a safe haven for the following reasons. First of all, distance from major bodies of water. Second, elevation. Third, a relatively short, relatively mild winter. Next, all the water you'd ever want. In fact, in the Missouri section of the Ozarks, There's more bridges than any state in the entire country, and that's only half the state because the Ozarks only takes up about half of Missouri. A relatively low population density, a very homogeneous population density, a population that knows God's gift to man is hunting, fishing, and gardening, because those are major activities here in the Arkansas, Missouri Ozarks: hunting and fishing and gardening. All those reasons combine to make the Arkansas, Missouri Ozarks the main location for people retiring from the U.S. Navy. That not everybody in the U.S. Navy knows this, by the way. Within the submarine command, almost all the men do, and now, unfortunately, women being on submarines is a massive mistake. But that's who knows, is the men and women retiring from the Navy. Now, to take a piece of raw dirt, your 5 acres or whatever it might be, if there's nothing there but trees and rocks and water and so forth, and dirt, of course, and turn that into a functioning hobby farm, it takes years. First year, you'll get little to any produce of any consequence. The second year, a little more. The third year, you'll be doing a lot better. And now, having a greenhouse would dramatically reduce the time it takes to be productive. It's a controlled environment, controlled in terms of heat and light, controlled in terms of moisture. You're going to have the soil in there is going to be a very special soil, specifically meant to grow healthy fruits and vegetables. I don't know how bad the violent climate change is going to get. I do know it's coming. It's already here, quite frankly. It's already here. So my recommendation would be to have a good size, not some little trinket out in the backyard, maybe 8 by 10 feet garden greenhouse, but something good, maybe 20 by 40 feet, big enough to grow enough food to feed your family, and maybe have some surplus. That would be a really wise investment. It really would be. And you're sitting out there thinking about this, boy, I wonder if I should do that. Well, 13 months from now, you may be wondering why you didn't do something already. It'll be too late by then to make your move and do it in a civilized manner where you're not scrambling at the last moment to evacuate your family from a dangerous area, which of course you'll do that if you can. If the roads are open, of course you will. That would be the natural, normal thing to do. You attempt to shelter in place. Long term, that's not workable. Short term, it may be the only choice you've got. During a crisis out here, I'll be meeting with some of my neighbors from 4 different families. They're all related by blood and marriage, but 4 households, I should say, in about a week. And I've already told them this, but I will tell them again. 99% of your time during this crisis out here in Davisville, Missouri, you're going to spend doing hunting and fishing and gardening, child care, household chores, repair work, plumbing, carpenter, electrical work, mechanical work. That's what you'll be doing 99% of your time. We'll be standing watch, of course, watching out for our neighbors, making sure the neighborhood is safe. This far from metropolitan St. Louis, we really don't anticipate very much, if any, issues. We really don't. But we'll be ready for them if they happen. Of course we will. While at the same time, gardening, animal husbandry, hunting, fishing, and so forth. We'll be doing all those things. It'll be pretty close to normal out here while the cities burn. And we'll watch that on the news like the rest of you will. Hopefully you won't be watching your own city burn while you're in it. The people who oppose us, They're very serious, and they know for a fact that they can't win at the ballot box. That's why they're so desperate. They want to eliminate the Electoral College. You'll be hearing it. You're already hearing it. One man, one vote. One man, one vote. That's supposed to get your attention and want you to support getting rid of the Electoral College. The Electoral College has one purpose and one purpose only. That's to prevent us from becoming a democracy. John, we are a democracy. No, we're not. Do your homework. I pledge allegiance to what? To the republic for which it stands, not to the democracy for which it stands. It's to the republic for which it stands. The founding fathers knew quite well what a democracy was, and they wanted nothing to do with a democracy. They did everything they could when writing the United States Constitution to give guarantees upon guarantees, backstops on backstops to prevent us from becoming a democracy. I've heard people advocate a new Constitution, a constitutional convention. There's nothing broken with our Constitution. There's nothing wrong with our Constitution. If there's anything wrong at all, it's the fact that Congress is not following it, especially Article 1, Section 8. If they only followed that part of the Constitution, a lot of other things would fall into place. Article 1, Section 8 is the money spending authority. The United States Senate cannot originate any money spending bills. They all have to come out of the House of Representatives. That's according to the Constitution. And the Article 1, Section 8 lists 18 or 19 things the federal government of the United States can spend money on. There's not 20 or 21 or 25 or 100. There's 18 or 19 that they can spend money on. Other than that, the states can spend all they want on anything else they want. Health care, for example. That's a good one. The FBI, I've had discussions with FBI agents, and they want trying to tell me that Congress has authority to spend money on the FBI. Well, they don't. They don't. They tag on these different things and try to give them viability. If it's not there, it's not there. That's the teeth. The teeth of the Constitution is Article 1, Section 8, the money spending authority. Now, James Madison wrote the Constitution, and he went back into Congress. I think it was around 1818 or so. He was a member of the United States Congress. And he basically chewed out his fellow men in the United States Congress for using his introductory sentence, which was called then and still called the General Welfare Clause. There's no such thing as a General Welfare Clause. He basically said the following: if I meant that to be a clause, why would I specifically write the things you can spend money on, and that's the only things? The General Welfare Clause is a fantasy. It doesn't exist. It's simply an introductory sentence. It is not a free pass to spend money on anything you want to spend money on, which is what Congress has been doing now for 200 years. Very slow at first, of course. Picked up speed a lot during the War of Northern Aggression. And then around 1912, 1913, it picked up even more momentum. And then with Franklin Roosevelt, it was off to the races. No, we don't need a new constitution. The one we've got is just fine. What we need is for the United States Congress to comply with the existing Constitution, specifically Article 1, Section 8. Is it going to happen? Probably not. This country will probably collapse of its own weight, under the weight of the debt, if nothing else, before that happens. And where does that leave you and I? Well, it leaves us with a hobby farm and hopefully some gold and silver coins. Hopefully we won't be invaded by Russians and Chinese and MS-13 and out-of-control Muslims and all the rest of it. I can hope and pray like that. I don't want to see my grandchildren live through that. No way. I've been through one war. I don't want to go through another one. And caller on hold here. We got Elizabeth in New York. Good morning, Elizabeth.
Good morning, John. I wanted to call in to let people know that you now have another website, libertyman.net, and it's basically for anyone who's out there, whether it be a corporation or a business or a church or another entity. They can go to that website and they can book you if they're interested in having you come and speak in their area. And it's real important that a lot of us get more proactive, especially with what's going on in the world today.
It is.
We cannot just stand by and let this continue, what's going on. And I mean, just look at what happened in Florida with all this devastation and everything. The topics that you want to speak on with this abrupt climate change is highly important because you have vital information that can help thousands of people to be able to sustain, damages and to recover. You have such a wealth of information, and I just want to let everybody know out there, please start being more proactive because we don't want to go through what the people in the Bahamas went through.
No, we don't. No.
I just wanted to call in and get that out there, John.
Well, and that's that website, once again, Elizabeth, is?
TheLibertyMan.net.
LibertyMan.net. Ladies and gentlemen, Elizabeth is my marketing woman, and she's up there in New York State, and she's doing a great job of getting this new website set up, and I want to congratulate her and thank her publicly for doing so, because her work will allow me to be in front of more audiences and save more lives, and your work, Elizabeth, will help save untold hundreds of lives, and we do thank you for that.
Well, that's my goal and yours, John.
All right. Well, thank you, my dear. Don't be a stranger. You need to call in and remind people more frequently about this.
I will do just that, John. Thank you for letting me come on.
Okay, thank you. And that new website is thelibertyman.net. That's thelibertyman.net. We need to get John more in front of audiences. I can't sit here in the woods of the Ozarks and inform people, except my radio show, obviously. We need to get me speaking engagements to alert people, educate people, inform people. That really needs to happen. So check that out. That new website is thelibertyman.net, thelibertyman.net. I've been at this a long time. I did my first paid consultation this summer. I believe it was August. No, it was probably July. It was either July or August of 1977, 42 years ago. A couple flew their airplane down from Las Vegas to meet me and spend a half a day with me here in the Ozarks, and we talked about preparedness, and I helped them gain some clarity and gain some focus on what they needed to do to be safe themselves. And so I do these presentations whenever they come up, and it's always fun to meet people and help them to understand and achieve their goals. Here's our break. We'll be right back.
Tired of being lied to by mass media? It's growing more and more apparent today that news is received less and less through standard media outlets. Even with a growing audience every day, RBN is beginning to direct more efforts into social media. Social media and the use of the internet is fast becoming the primary source of people for news, regardless of demographic. RBN has set out to provide some of the best news on the internet through republicbroadcasting.org. and also has begun to use the tools to our advantage by way of social media. Republic Broadcasting is now operating a Facebook page to function as yet another avenue to have our collective voice reach new audiences across not only America, but across the globe as well. The Facebook page features not only news, but also an RBN player to listen to our broadcast. Get involved by visiting facebook.com/Republic Broadcasting and liking our page and share it with your friends and family, because you can handle the truth.
All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. We're back. J.R. Moore here on Thursday. Tomorrow, we're going to have Tom Berryhill with us. The first hour, we're going to talk about emergency survival communications. It's a very informative hour. Our goal is to inform people, educate people, and most important of all, motivate people. I got a text message from a lady. John, I want to buy ham radios for myself and my family before they're outlawed. What should I buy? My response was, it's like asking me the following. John, I'm going to the hardware store to buy tools. What tools should I buy? It's the answer, and I wasn't really attempting to be flippant in my answer, but it's a very complex. The question is simple, but the answer is very complex. Who do you want to talk to? How far away are they? What's their level of expertise? Are you going to be on foot? Are you going to be mobile? Are you going to have base stations? Lots of questions that cannot be answered unless I know a lot more than I knew just from her asking. I don't know who these people are, how far away they are, what the levels of expertise is, whether they're going to be on foot or mobile or walking with a backpack or have a base station. But you learn these things when you listen to Tom and I tomorrow, first hour. Second hour, my friend Dr. Lynn Wilbert, D.C. Dr. Wilbert has been an instructor of other doctors traveling around the country. I don't know about if he's done an international instruction or not. I wouldn't be surprised if he had. But he's traveled all over the country being an instructor for other doctors. Brilliant man, absolutely brilliant. And he's my personal physician. He was Dr. Moore's personal physician. And he puts out some really great information. Next Monday, of course, we'll have Sam Andrews back. Sam is at the top of his game. When you've got Remington Firearms executives approaching you to take over a part of their company that's in distress, you think you might just be at the top of your game? Well, yeah. And this actually happened. The Remington executives, they paid a visit to Sam, asking him to take over this facility for them, manufacturing facility. Sam's response was to give all of them, I don't know how many there was, 4 or 5 of them, a test to find out what they knew. Kind of an unusual way to be hired for a job, isn't it? But he declined the job. After careful consideration, he declined the job. But what Sam brings to the table when it comes to firearms expertise is unsurpassed. Unsurpassed. I hope to have Steve Noon back with us first hour Tuesday. Steve's a busy guy between his career and his family. He's not able to be with us every Tuesday first hour, but when he is, he and I have some great conversations, and everybody gets a lot out of it. The second hour, my friend Leon Green. Leon's going with us on a cruise. So listen to Leon. That's it for the day. Map supplies, your energy cleaning, your essential oils. Now while you can, you find some use. Never ever could. Please do a fun, safe, productive day. God bless America.